When Nehemiah arrived at Jerusalem, he surveyed the work that needed to be done in secret. And after he saw what needed to be done, he stood up and spoke to his fellow Jews, and he encouraged them to rise up and build because God was on their side, and so was the king. This was enough to cause the people to be recharged, and they were ready to serve God. And the Bible says the people had a mind to work. Now think about this. Obviously, Nehemiah was a good man, but he could have just stayed with the Persian king and done nothing. He could have had the attitude that some have today and said, "Oh, I feel sorry for my fellow Jews in Jerusalem, but I just don't have enough time to mess with them because I have plenty of problems to deal with right here." But thankfully, Nehemiah didn't have that attitude. And his desire to help his fellow Jews caused him to leave the comforts of his home and to reach out and inspire his fellow Jews to get back on track with God and the work at hand. Chapters 4, 5, and 6 give us more information about how the people rebuilt the walls in 52 days and the difficulties that they faced. As they were rebuilding these walls, Sanballat and the other enemies of the Jews tried to discourage them by mocking them. This tactic had worked before, but it would not work this time because Nehemiah was willing to fight for the Lord and encourage the people. When their mocking stopped working, they planned to attack them. But Nehemiah found out about their plans, so he prepared for it. And the Bible says he had the people working with one hand, and on the other hand, they were carrying a sword so they could defend themselves. They were willing to take care of the work at hand, and they were willing to defend the work they were doing. I believe this gives us a great example to follow. On one hand, we should be working for the Lord in our congregation and in our community, but on the other hand, we should be ready to defend God's truth and to deal with false teaching or anything that would go against what God would want us to do. Both of these things are important, and neither of them should be neglected. And we should never get so busy with our local work that we don't have time to defend God's truth.